I'd rather you die sword in hand.
If you threaten my lord again...
As in, I'm going to open your lord from balls to brains and see what Starks are made of.
There's a moment in Game of Thrones that lasts maybe 2 minutes. Swords clash, men shout, blood spills on the stones of King's Landing. And if you blink, you miss it. The moment Jaime Lannister's entire worldview shatters. Watch his face. Really watch it. When he steps up to Ned Stark on that street, there's something in his eyes that has nothing to do with Tyrion being captured. Nothing to do with politics or family honor. It's something deeper. Something he's been carrying for 15 years. Hunger. See, Jaime Lannister grew up worshipping one man above all others. Ser Arthur Dayne, the Sword of the Morning, the greatest knight who ever lived, wielding a sword called Dawn, forged from a fallen star. In the books, Jaime tells Loras Tyrell that Arthur Dayne could have killed 5 of him with his left hand while taking a piss with his right. That's not just respect. That's reverence. This wasn't just some childhood hero. This was Jaime's standard, his measuring stick for what it meant to be truly great. And Jaime? Jaime was gifted. At 15, he became the youngest member of the Kingsguard in history, maybe the best swordsman of his generation. But that wasn't enough for him. It's never been enough. He didn't want to be good. He wanted to be Arthur Dayne. Then came Robert's Rebellion. And at the end of it all, at a lonely tower in Dorne, Ned Stark and 6 companions rode to rescue Lyanna Stark. 3 of the greatest knights in Westeros stood in their way. Ser Arthur Dayne, Sir Gerald Hightower, the White Bull, Sir Oswell Went, the finest warriors of their age, standing guard at the Tower of Joy. 7 against 3. When the dust settled, only 2 men walked away. Ned Stark and Howland Reed. Everyone else was dead, including the Sword of the Morning, including Jaime's hero. Now think about what that means to the rest of Westeros. To everyone who wasn't there. The story is simple, isn't it? Ned Stark defeated Arthur Dayne. Ned Stark killed the greatest knight of the age in single combat. Therefore, Ned Stark must be one of the most dangerous warriors who ever lived. The legend grows, the quiet warden of the North, the honorable man who brought down a living legend with nothing but skill and courage. And Jaime hears these stories. Year after year after year, his hero is dead, killed by Eddard Stark. In the books, Jaime even asks himself the question directly. He wonders what kind of man could have bested Arthur Dayne. What kind of warrior walks away when the Sword of the Morning doesn't? And somewhere in Jaime's mind, a darker thought takes root. Maybe Ned Stark is the new standard, the new legend, the one he needs to measure himself against now. For 15 years, that question sits there, unanswered, festering, gnawing at him. And then Ned Stark comes to King's Landing. So yes, when Jaime confronts Ned on that street, he's angry about Tyrion. Of course he is. His little brother, the one person he truly loves without complication, has been captured by Catelyn Stark. But watch his body language. Watch the way he circles Ned. He's not just looking for a fight, he's looking for this fight. With this man. The man who killed Arthur Dayne. I'm looking for my brother, Jaime says. But his eyes tell a different story. The moment the swords come out, something shifts in Jaime. This isn't about revenge or rescue anymore. This is a test. Watch how he moves. He's not wild, he's not reckless, he's probing Ned's defense, studying his reflexes, his technique, his speed, every parry, every riposte. He wants to see what the man who killed Arthur Dayne can do. And here's where everything falls apart. Because Ned Stark is fine. He's competent, solid. Well-trained by a master-at-arms in Winterfell, sure. But he's not exceptional. He's not a prodigy. He's not Arthur Dayne. He's not even close. You can see it happening in real time on Jaime's face, that confusion. That dawning realization spreading across his features like a shadow. Ned's breathing hard. He's defensive, reactive, struggling to keep up. And Jaime's barely trying. His movements are fluid, effortless, almost bored. This isn't a clash of titans. This is a master swordsman realizing his opponent is just ordinary. The legend of Eddard Stark, the warrior? It's hollow. Empty. A lie built on a story nobody bothered to question. Then one of Me's men, a Lannister guard, stabs Ned through the leg from behind with a spear, and Jaime explodes with rage. He dismounts and knocks the man out cold with a single punch. Not because Ned was hurt, not out of some sudden burst of honor, because his answer was stolen from him. The duel was interrupted before he could finish understanding what he was facing, before he could solve the mystery that's haunted him for 15 years. But he already knows enough, doesn't he? If Ned Stark isn't the fighter everyone claimed, then how in seven hells did he beat Arthur Dayne? We find out eventually, through Bran's visions in Season 6. We see the truth. The real truth. Arthur Dayne was dominating that fight at the Tower of Joy, fighting 6 men at once with 2 swords, moving like water, like silk, like death itself. He was poetry in motion. He disarmed Ned, had him beaten, was about to deliver the killing blow. And then Howland Reed stabbed him in the back. Ned didn't defeat Arthur Dayne in fair combat. He didn't outfight him, didn't outsmart him. He survived because his friend intervened. Because sometimes survival isn't about skill. It's about luck, about being willing to win ugly when pretty won't cut it. And Ned, being Ned, never corrected the story. He never boasted, never claimed to be the greatest swordsman alive. He let the legend grow in silence because he's more concerned with duty than glory. He doesn't care what people think of him. Honor, for Ned, isn't about reputation. It's about doing what's right when no one's watching. But Jaime cares. Jaime cares desperately. His entire identity is built on comparisons. The better twin, the better son, the better swordsman. The golden child who can do everything Cersei can't simply because he was born with different parts. He spent his whole life trying to live up to impossible standards. Arthur Dayne, Barristan Selmy, the great knights of legend who fill the pages of the White Book in the Kingsguard Tower. And when he made the hardest choice of his life, when he broke his sacred oath and killed King Aerys to save 500,000 people from burning alive in wildfire, everyone called him a traitor. An oathbreaker. The Kingslayer. Nobody asked why. Nobody cared that he saved them all. So he stopped trying. He leaned into the reputation, became the villain they expected. Why bother being good when nobody believes in your honor anyway? Why reach for righteousness when everyone assumes the worst of you? But Ned was supposed to be different. Ned was supposed to be the real thing. The genuinely honorable man who earned his reputation through skill and courage and virtue. The man who proved that legends could be true. Instead, me finds another flawed man living under the weight of a story that isn't quite accurate. Another human being crushed beneath the expectations of myth. And maybe that's the most devastating discovery of all. Because if the legendary Eddard Stark is just a man who got lucky, what does that say about legends in general? What does that say about honor? About the stories we tell ourselves and the heroes we create from whispers and assumptions? What does it say about Jaime? This scene is 2 minutes long. 2 minutes that crack open Jaime's understanding of the world. It's not really about swords at all. It's about disillusionment. It's about discovering that your heroes are myths, your legends are lies. And the gap between who you are and who everyone thinks you are might be the only truth that matters. In Game of Thrones, everyone is living in that gap. The tragedy is how few of them ever figure out how to reconcile the two. So the next time you watch that confrontation, don't just see a street fight. See a man searching for answers. See the moment he finds them. And see his face when he realizes the answer changes everything. What legends are you still believing in? This is the Story Chamber, where we find the truth hidden in the stories.